This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
I'm fascinated by old Andre stories, and obviously Arn's career has been synonymous with Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen, and he's probably the last NWA touring world champion. I'm sure you got a Ric Flair story in your back pocket you can share with us today, don't you?
I got two of them. Right to jump out right away, man. One of them has to do with Arn. As a matter of fact, Rick would come in and he would stay a week in Southeastern and Pensacola, and then Continental too. And when he came, Arn would take him around. I think I went to Arn originally and said, I need somebody to carry Rick around. And Arn was like, wow, Arn really wanted to learn everything he could about the business. And he jumped on it. He was like, are you serious, Ron? You want me to take Ric Flair? I said, I want you to take him every town and every place. Take him out after the matches. I want you to be there for Rick. And he was just like, oh, gosh, man, it was a big honor for him. Anyway, we're wrestling in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and it's a 6-man tag. It's me and Bob Armstrong and my brother against Arn and Jerry Stubbs and Ric Flair. And early in the match, Arn starts the match, and he's doing these phenomenal, he's calling these high spots. I mean, one right after another with all of us baby faces, we'd tag in, we'd bump him, man, we'd tag out, and then he'd just have another high spot for the next guy, He's got this crowd going crazy, and he calls a spot, and he hits the ropes, so you drop down or we leapfrog or whatever it was. I can't remember. It might have been my brother in the ring with him, and Arn hit the top rope, broke on the ring, and he went out. He went upside down and disappeared off the apron. You couldn't see how he landed, but I knew he had to have landed on the back of his head. Maybe broke his neck. It's one of those deals where Bob Armstrong and I on the apron, and we look at each other and go, "Oh my God, man, he's dead. They might have killed him, Mark." And we got off the apron and walked around to the corner and looked, and he was already dead. Flair jumped off too. Flair must have, he saw it because he was right there where it happened, and he was already down there, and he was helping Arn up, and Arn was just like almost popping up on his feet, and I was like, wow, man, I was so happy to see he was alive. And then I figured, he'll get up on the apron and Flair will tag in or Stubbs will tag in. And Arn got right back in the ring. And Flair saying, come here, man. You just took this horrible bump. You got to get out. And Arn shaking his head. No, I'm going to still go. And he started right back into it again. I was like, wow. I told Arn, I said, I think that was the night that Ric Flair fell in love with him, man, that Ric Flair really saw what Arn was all about. And so Rick used to come into the territory, and he would go out on these nights with Arn, and always he wanted to take all the heels in the whole crew. He would, whatever town it was in, especially like a Pensacola on a Sunday night, he wanted to take the whole crew out to the bar afterward with him. On Dothan on Fridays, he would go, and everybody had to go to the bar with Rick. And he would buy the kamikazes, buy them drinks. There's one particular drink called a kamikaze. And he'd have all of them drinking their drinks, man. Wow. And then they would all get drunk. And Arn told me that in a conversation, he says, Ron, he said he was getting all of us drunk for years, and then Rick would get them drunk, and the deal was between me and Rick is Rick would get them drunk, especially on a Friday night, because he knew they had TV on Saturday, and then he would try to get them to book him so that he had to leave on Saturdays. So he'd be there like from Saturday to the next Friday, and he'd get everybody drunk in the crew on a Friday night, and then he'd leave the territory. And I'd get the TV, and he knew what time we was doing TV. He would call the TV station, Flair would, and he would say, get Ron Fuller, please, to come to the phone. And I'm having a deal with them, and they're all laying on the ring, man. We're cutting interviews. There's nobody in the studio but just the cameraman. and they're laying on the floor and now the ring and hanging off the sides of chairs, and they're all dead, right? and he would get me on the phone. Flair would get me on the phone, and he would start laughing. He would go, "Hey, Ron, how do they live?" Go, "Oh, Rick, you son of a gun, man. You've done it to him again." I said, you got to start leaving the territory on a Sunday, man.
Hey, Big Daddy, you got to get excited about saving people money. Woo! Woo!
SaveWithConrad.com.
Saturday, so that I got to change your schedule, man. But it was Flair was a tremendous, great worker. I mean, he and I had one of the greatest matches I ever had in 1982 in Mobile, Alabama. And Bob Armstrong was a baby face. I was a baby face. And Bob and I had wrestled the week before in the finals of the tournament to see who's going to wrestle Flair. And I beat Bob. And then Bob came on TV with me after that match was over. We showed the match between me and Bob. And then he said, "Ron, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to, will you allow me to referee?" He says, "I think you're going to be the world champion. You're going to beat Ric Flair next week, and I just want to be in the ring in some form. And that's the only place I can do that is be a referee. I just want to be there to count him out, Ron, when you win that big belt." That type of deal. And I go, "Oh, God, Bobby, you're serious, man. I'd be honored, man. Unbelievable." And he turned on me that night. And Rick and I are in the dressing room with Bob, and we're talking about the finish. And I'd already thought about what I wanted to do. And we started into the finish. And about halfway through the finish, it was going to be really, really hot. We're in the big building in Mobile that held 15,000. It was packed. And he says, I get halfway through, and Rick goes to me. He says, "Ron, whoa, whoa, whoa." He goes, "You're going to get us killed." And I said, "Oh, no, Rick, no. The cops are great here." And I started making all these excuses. But Rick was he was like, "Oh," and then he just kept walking the rest of the night, the matches. He just was walking the hallways before we went to the ring. He just kept shaking his head like, "Oh, God, dog, we're not going to make it through this." And so, Rick was a tremendous athlete, a great guy, and we're still friends, talk quite a bit.
A footnote to that, Ron. People don't understand this, but the greatest feeling in the world is to do something like that and the fans to beat the shit out of you all the way to the locker room because they're so mad. And even better is the next week, once that aired and got on TV, they would beat you up trying to get to the ring for your match. You knew you had done something special and it had worked. It was immediate.
Yeah. Oh, man. And you're right. And having healed a lot like you, Arn, geez, it was fun. It was almost fun to make them mad, to get them as mad as you possibly could. And I've been in the riots. I've had them cut me. I've been cut. I got cut in the ring. Hitting the head with a chair from behind, the same riot. And I've been in all kinds of riots. And, when you get to the dressing room and you're still in one piece, it's kind of funny. I mean, I found myself sometimes laughing about it. And did you grab that mark? And I saw you throw him through the bleachers into the wall. He went through the bleachers and didn't touch nothing to hit the wall. I mean, it was just things like that just it made the sport totally unique to any other sport.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.